If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Kicking off hour 2 of Money Moves on a Friday. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Sirius XM, channel 158. Jonathan Von Tobel and Stormy Buonantony with you. We're live in downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, coming up in 15 minutes. VP of Operations at this fine property, also the host of Bet on Chicago, Mike Palm, going to join us in studio for half an hour. We'll talk plenty of NHL postseason, get his thoughts on some other big picture topics, what's going on behind the counter as well. We'll have best bets at the end of the hour. Want to kick things off here, though, diving into the MLB slate. No day games for us today, but a 15-game slate nonetheless. Yesterday went pretty well. My Phillies bet needed extras to get there, but we got it home. The Fade the Rockies doubleheader against the Tigers worked out well. Jeff Schwartz, who's come on VSiN a number of times, he did this show with me for a while on Fridays. He has been texting me about just and I'm not saying you blind bet things ever, but he has essentially just not cared about the opponent, not done whatever, just bet the opposing team total over when they're facing the Colorado Rockies, and it has been like printing money. Last 4 games, given up 11 runs, 10 runs, 8, 9. They've dropped 6 straight, 6-31 on the year. You've been cashing a lot of tickets if you've been going down that road.
Yeah, the Rockies stink. Newsflash, right?
News to me. It's bad.
It always seems it's like one of those things where like it's too good to be true. And it's like, you can't just keep doing like that, right? Whatever it is. You can. And that seems to have been the case here with Colorado Rockies, whether it's playing against them, fading them in that regard, team total overs, whatever it is, it seems to have been working no matter what.
Team total today for the Padres against Colorado, 6.5. So you need 7. It's doable. I do have a bet on this game, but I'm not going that way. I'm going with the Padres run line. All 6 of those games on the Rockies losing streak have been run line losses. It's a minus 115 price right now on the Padres, who are minus 170 money line favorites in this game on the road. Randy Vasquez on the hill, high run total at 11.5 in general. But the Padres, I think, after back-to-back losses against the Yankees, should be poised to exercise some demons against a bad team today.
Yes, one would think that the Rockies are not going to be able to put up any resistance against San Diego in a vacuum. So would make some sense that you're going to go this route, and why not? Especially if you've been diving into it. I'm always a proponent that if you've been getting in on a trend, why not? And just see if you can keep it going.
The Tigers, who beat Colorado the last 2 days, 21-3 is the way they outscored them. They are starting a 3-game set with the Texas Rangers today, minus 270. Home favorites on the money line with Skubal on the hill against Patrick Corbin. Run total here looking at 7.5. So Detroit, a big favorite once again today.
So I wanted to bring this game up for a very simple reason. Obviously, the Tigers are great. But what I find funny to the point of trends is today, many would say, is Patrick Corbin Day. So let's go fade Patrick Corbin. The problem is that Patrick Corbin has actually pitched relatively well, especially by the standards set for him by the market and others. And so we have this thing going on in the realm of social media where everybody likes to celebrate and say, see, I'm fading Patrick Corbin. Well, now the reality is that most people have been betting some of his under-out props. He hasn't been pitching long into games. With Stormy, since his opening contest, he has given up 2 earned runs or fewer in every single start since then. Now, there's some underlying metrics that I think would very much point to Corbin maybe getting got at some point when you look at it, but 3.28 ERA, 41 fielding independent. Those would paint a picture of a guy who's maybe even getting away and getting a little lucky. But I find this dynamic pretty fascinating where he's actually pitching pretty well. But the general claim in the sports betting space is that fading Patrick Corbin is the way to go. And the reality is he's actually been giving his teams a pretty good shot. He just hasn't really gotten the run support necessary in a lot of these starts.
So are you saying that plus 220 intrigues you a bit?
No, because on the other side is an awesome pitcher at Skubal, an offense that has been great. As I mentioned, there's signs that I think Corbin shows the 3.28 ERA, but namely the 4.81 fielding independent. The fact that, he can get knocked around. He's given up some hard contact some of these starts. You look at some of the numbers, but I just find it more interesting where people are kind of, if you're going out and trying to fade Patrick Corbin and beating your head in, you're getting there, but you're not getting there for the reasons that you should. And so people are claiming that it's been successful despite the fact that Corbin has actually pitched beyond his means at this point right now.
Okay. Run total for the game again, 7.5. We talked about this next thing yesterday a little bit. The Pirates fired their manager, Derek Shelton, after going 12-26 to start. They're in the midst of a 7-game losing streak, dropped 10 of their last 11. They open a 3-game set at home today against Atlanta. Purely educationally, I just wanted to look at the odds board and see what the price was. We know in other sports there's that, post-coach bump fire thing. In baseball, not so much as that, but just curious what it is. Nothing about plus 124 intrigued me to bet this Pirates team against the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, nope. I'm with you. Nothing really at all that would make you think that it's going to be the case. The organization's on fumes. It stinks. And there's much better baseball to talk about and watch.
Season win total under. Any other games that, we'll get to a handful of these, but one game maybe that really stood out to you that you did fire bet on?
So I did bet our guy. I don't know why I say our guy. He's my guy for sure. Let's go to Reds and Astros. Nick Martinez is going to get the start against Hunter Brown. We saw this open up $1.75 in favor of the Astros. Some spots are very high now, minus 205. I laid the half run in the first 5 with Hunter Brown and the Stros at minus 110. I think that this is a play worth making because Brown has just been absolutely incredible. He gets to take on the Cincinnati Reds lineup. You and I have discussed it many times. It's been discussed in baseball betting circles many times how poor this Reds lineup has been. I think that Brown's going to be able to feast here, and the Astros are going to be able to come out of these first 5 with a lead of at least 1 run or more, especially such the palatable price of minus 110, laying the half run of the first 5, as opposed to going out there and laying a pretty big price of Brown, which, by the way, they're perfectly capable of taking care of considering how well Brown has pitched up to this point. But, dude, he is, and we could talk to Mike Palm about this because he is like me. We both have Hunter Brown AL Cy Young tickets. The guy's been unreal. 167 ERA, 183 fielding independent. There are really no signs that this guy's going to come crashing back down to earth. Maybe you can get a little bit more lucky, or a little less lucky, I should say. 276 batting average on balls in play is not anything crazy that can revert to the mean a little bit. But Brown's been awesome, and there he is, plus 550 now to win the American League Cy Young. This guy's been untouchable, and I think he's going to be able to just really go out there, put the clamps down on this Reds lineup today. Okay,
there's an F5 that I'm looking at as well today, but on an underdog. You know how much I like the Cubs, and I've been on this train for a little while, but Jameson Taillon getting the start for them, plus 130 on the money line, but plus 125 on the run line if you don't want to worry about any of the bullpen situation. He's been really good head-to-head with this Mets lineup. In 75 plate appearances, just a 162 average against him, 20 strikeouts, 1 walk on a sick run against these guys. And I think that the F5 could be the better option if you just want to avoid any of that late-game shenanigans. But Clay Holmes on the hill for New York. It is on the road, but a nice little plus money price here on the Cubs for the full game and the F5 run total 8.
Cool. I could see it. I'm very interested in this game because if you look at Holmes and the way that he's pitched, interestingly enough, he's got some command issues. He actually walks about 8% of the batters he faces. So that's a pretty high rate. But he does balance it with some strikeouts. As you always say, right? You can walk guys at a relatively high clip if you can strike guys out at a high clip as well, because then you're not putting balls in play, guys are advancing, all that kind of stuff. So if you walk a high amount, it's cool if you can then sit them down. And Holmes does that to an extent, but what I find interesting about his profile, Stormy, is despite the fact that he is striking out a quarter of the hitters he's facing, he's only in the 45th percentile in chase rate, 23rd percentile in whiff rate. So he's generating these strikeouts despite the fact that some of the swing and miss metrics actually aren't among the best in Major League Baseball. In fact, they're below average. And the batting average of balls in play actually suggests some bad luck. So he's got a really interesting profile here is the whole point with Holmes. So I can't wait to see how he fares against this Cubs lineup today.
My only real fear about the Cubs moving forward as a team that I do really like, since the new Pope is a White Sox fan, could that flip the fortunes of the two teams in Chicago?
Did you see these losers trying to claim him?
What do you mean?
So there was the report. They finally talked to the Pope's brother, and the Pope's brother was like, yeah, no, he's a White Sox fan. But for the longest time, even the Cubs official Twitter account tweeted out that he was a Cubs fan.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, we've already got new Pope drama. Yeah. Let's go to Arizona, Los Angeles Dodgers and Diamondbacks going head-to-head. We talked about it a little earlier. Gabriel Moreno hits a grand slam off Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Brandon Pfaadt through 6 1/3 scoreless innings. The Diamondbacks win that one 5-3. As we look to the action tonight, Roki Sasaki on the hill for LA, plus 102 road dog. Eduardo Rodriguez getting the start for Arizona, minus 122 home favorites. Run total here, looking at 10.
I think there's a strong case to be made to go with Arizona again here today, man. I mean, here's the thing. Sasaki has been getting away with murder here. 3.86 ERA, a 5.41 fielding independent. The walk rate's insane. He's walking 15% of the hitters he's facing. If you want to do it a per 9 basis, he's walking 6 guys every 9 innings. It's been really bad. But he's gotten away with it because he got a 238 batting average on balls in play. Contact numbers are abysmal. Barrel rate against is over 9%. Hard hit rate is 45%. I mean, this guy should be getting wrecked. And yet it hasn't really come to fruition quite yet. D-backs, I think, could totally do it here. So we saw this current price right now where we got we flipped this, right? Yeah, minus 122 in favor of Arizona. Mm-hmm. We saw the overnight at minus 135 in favor of the Dodgers. This is one where I was kind of bummed out because I got priced out quick. It flipped really quickly, but I think there's a real strong case to be made here for Arizona, and obviously the market agrees. And we'll see if they can get to Sasaki today because he has been a fraud, I think, to say the least.
Them's his fighting words. If you're betting on sports, obviously betting on baseball, but there's so much more going on in the world, including horse racing. First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of horse races each and every day from top tracks around the U.S. and around the world. Sign up at firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. And use our promo code VSIN200. When you do, that'll help you claim a 20% rebate your first 60 days up to $200. Check it out today. Why not? Firstbet.com. Again, that's the number one, stbet.com. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back here on Money Moves, Mike Palm is going to join us in studio. We'll get his thoughts on a little Major League Baseball as you reference some of those awards markets, talk through the NHL postseason, which he has been an avid bettor and watcher of. And at some point over the next half hour, he has a very important Mother's Day wish that he would like to share. We'll be right back. More Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, after this.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Rolling along on this Friday edition of Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM channel 158. Jonathan Von Tobel, Stormy Buonantony with you as we welcome back in studio for the next half hour. Mike Palm, VP of Operations here at Circa, joining us on the desk, also host of Bet on Chicago. And you were just saying, after getting off the air, a lot of Pope talk today.
Yeah, I go on the Score 670 on Friday mornings, and that was the entire segment this morning. Of course, they're there, and Mike Mulligan's from the south side of Chicago, and Dave and he and I are all Catholic, as is Jonathan, is a proud graduate of St. Viator.
And Bishop Gorman
High School. I'm Wahlert High School, Notre Dame. So a long history, and I was in the seminary at Notre Dame, and so it was a very historic day yesterday. I mean, when I was young, you wouldn't dream there'd be a non-Italian pope, and then we had a Polish pope, and then you would never dream there would be a non-European pope, and we had Pope Francis from South America, but you could never imagine an American pope. I mean, he was 66-1 offshore. He'd only been a cardinal for 2 years. You have to remember that. So it's a pretty magnificent story. I know everybody in Chicago is walking on clouds right now. It's a huge moment for the city and really for America.
Southsider, huh?
He's a Southsider. Not only God can't help the White Sox. Yeah. I mean,
well,
they got shut out after the announcement.
We were just talking about this, though, that the Cubs have been trying to claim him, it appears.
Marquis put up, he's a Cubs fan. Yeah. We have to. I can't see from where he's from, Dalton, that he's a Cubs fan. I mean, he's near Southside, so there's several questions to be answered, right? I mean, will it now be a venial sin to put ketchup on a hot dog?
Yeah, that's right.
That could be possible because they don't put ketchup on the hot dog in Chicago. I thought the only moment yesterday were people complaining that when he came out on the balcony, he only spoke Italian and Spanish. Did you see that? They said he's an American pope. He should speak English just like Jesus did.
I'm not ready to have that conversation. Wait till you see the real pictures of Jesus. So go ahead.
I was going to say, just real quickly, while we're on the subject of higher powers, can only God intervene on what's going on in North Carolina right now? All of the different back and forth reports of what's happening?
Did our friend Michael Lombardi leak this story to Pablo Torre to try to, think about that triangle between Lombardi and...
Did you see the clip of him getting cold called? By
No.
So Boston radio cold called Lombardi on the air. And
I didn't know that was a cold call.
Oh, it was a cold call. So they call him and he answers and they ask him, like, hey, Michael, like, what's going on with this chick? And he just goes, I'm recruiting. Like, he laughed. Like, you could kind of tell. I was like, oh, that's like it was a very damning, like, non-answer, especially the laugh from Lombardi. Like, I don't know him too well, but I know him enough that I would think that he's not too happy about the circus that has followed, huh?
I mean, is their win total going to drop now? I mean,
Right.
there's so much going on around the program. It can't be good.
No, it can't be good
at all. So,
by the way, real quick before we move on from the Pope, did you see the great video of him walking out? Where does he walk out on? The balcony. He walks out on for the first time.
Yeah.
The Basilica. Thank you. They set it to the Chicago Bulls walkout music.
the jokes around this are really good,
They're
though.
good. The Portillo's sign in the background.
He's going to canonize Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Roper had a great tweet who used to appear on Mitch and Paul all the time. He's like, because he's from the same hometown, Dalton. He said, we played in Little League and I struck him out. And he said he would bring the wrath of God upon me. I'm in trouble. Pete Futic said he's going to hold a mass for 250,000 people at Grant Park in July. It's going to be Leopalooza. It's all good.
For our purposes, Villanova and the Knicks have been getting bet because of it.
Well, the Knicks, now we understand the Knicks help that they're getting here in this series,
It all
right?
makes sense.
The Villanova
it all
guy.
checks out.
So let me ask you this: like, if we can transition to that? So it doesn't have to be hardcore basketball, but you're a very logical man. Okay. I got into an argument with Dustin Sweetelson yesterday on their wonderful program on Sirius XM because my whole premise here is that the Celtics are actually fine and they're doing it. The process is just, the results are just not there. But if you look at the metrics, Mike, they're generating a ton of wide open looks. They're getting uncontested shots. Those uncontested shots just aren't falling. If the process is working up to the result, why would you not? Why would you change your process?
So Legler's argument, Tim Legler's argument, is he doesn't agree with what's an uncontested shot, right?
Okay.
To counter your argument, because these are all uncontested. I saw the Minnesota stat. They hit 18 trees. They were all uncontested off assists, right? That was the bottom scroll today. So I went on Amal and Britton's podcast for the first time this morning.
Okay.
Right? And Amal said, the Celtics are going to win the next 4 games. I don't know why you're not jumping in on them at -110 or whatever price you can get.
3-1 to win the whole thing.
Yeah, right? He's like, this is the ultimate buy low spot. The Knicks have played better for 12 minutes of the entire series. They've had the better results. I don't know, right? I don't know enough about the NBA to delve into that. I would think, Jonathan, logically, though, in the last 8 minutes of these games, that they might try to generate more looks at the basket.
Sure.
When you're trying to get a little bit higher percentage, I know that's how they shoot. And I know they're banged up a little bit. I mean, not having Porzingis is a big deal. He's a tremendous option on that team. So I haven't touched that series. I'd be more concerned with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because of the injury issues. I actually think betting Indiana, futures on Indiana kind of makes sense right now. Because not only you're getting the variable that the Celtics could be out. Now, if you think the Celtics are definitely going to win, then I wouldn't touch Indiana, right? But if you think there's a shot that Indiana can advance and then play the Knicks, I mean, the price is still outrageous on them from where they sit right now. I'm more obsessed with this Minnesota team and Chris Finch. This guy is the best interview in all of sports. I mean, he just puts it all out there. His radio interviews, I mean, all throughout, everything he said in the Lakers series absolutely came to fruition. He talked about who would you rather play before they played Game 7 in Houston. He says, totally different. My team would stay motivated because Golden State's a brand name, and they're motivated by big brand names who people will pick to beat them, just like the Lakers. Mm-hmm. We have a definite size advantage, but Kerr is so hard to prepare for because of all the different combinations. And do we have the discipline to stay in the half court, which they didn't in the first game? They absolutely baited them into a running game. Even last night, they're still shooting jumper after jumper after jumper.
When they cut it to 7, I was sitting at home. I'm like, are we really doing this right now? Are we really doing this?
I laid 10.5. I rarely bet an NBA game. I laid 10.5. I said they're either winning by 30 or losing this game.
Yep.
I'll take the shot that they're going to win by 30 last night. I thought his stuff in game one, everybody, like Paul's obsessed with what he said about the officiating and the grabbing, and we're going to create our own justice. I'm more concerned what he's talking about Ant-Man. About what do you mean? What do I need to say to him? This guy he's the team. He got what he wanted. He wanted to be the leader. We cleared the deck for him. There's nothing to say to him. It's his job to lead. It's his job to take this team on his back. There's nothing for me to say to him. I think Chris Finch is a smart guy. I don't know if he has the power of personality to control Anthony Edwards. Like you almost like need a Phil Jackson to come into a situation like that. But I think that team is fascinating to me.
They're a 5-point favorite coming up in that game tomorrow. In Golden State. You mentioned the injuries with Cleveland. Sean Sharania did say on Pat McAfee today he expects Darius Garland to play, and to his knowledge, Garland, Mobley, and Hunter are all aiming to play in this one tonight. How does that impact your view of them?
Well, we'll see, right? I mean, this is how do you bet the game until you know who's playing tonight? They might. Maybe 1 out of 3 might play, 2 out of 3. I doubt all 3 are going to play, but how do you know? But the line still sits. So they're a road favorite here in this game. I respect Rick Carlisle a lot. I thought they played very well in the first round, Indiana. They're a fun team to watch. They have a lot of motion. They have guys that are very versatile. And you know, I said all year I like watching Cleveland and Oklahoma City play. This team is fun to watch as well. So I'm more into the NBA now than I've been probably since Jordan retired from the Bulls. Sure. Right?
I mean, I think both postseasons have been great. We don't have to do the whole debate because I think both have been tremendous. And like I tweeted it out the other day, I find myself almost every single night, every single game in the NBA, once it's over, sitting back and going like, what did I just watch? These ends have been tremendous.
Like, how do you predict anything that's happened?
The 2 games, the Lakers at Minnesota, games 3 and 4, were incredible basketball games for the entire 48 minutes, right? Yep. They just answered everything. I asked Paul yesterday when I was filling in for Mitch, is this good for the NBA? The upsets and he said it's horrible for the NBA. I disagree. I think this is tremendous, where you have teams that are lower seeds have a chance to win, and it doesn't matter the lead. Every game goes to the fourth quarter. Like OKC's up 30. All right, I'm going to check back at the 10-minute mark. Is Denver got it back to 10? Because then I'm going to turn it on. Well, they didn't, so I didn't need to watch the game. But everything's in the balance, and anybody can win, and you can steal these games. Just like in the NHL, all these teams down 2 goals in the third are stealing these games. Teams go into shells trying to defend instead of attacking. You know, the other team can't tie you when you're 120 feet from their goal, right? I mean, keep attacking. That's how you got the lead.
It's been all underdogs in round 2.
Yeah.
It's been crazy how some of these have gone. And I know we're going to talk about this more coming up in the next one. But because you were talking about the Celtics bouncing back, I think a lot of people would make that argument for the Florida Panthers, who now go and get home ice against the Toronto Maple Leafs for these next 2.
The price on the Panthers tonight is ludicrous, $230. But so is the series price that they're getting, $180. I bet him plus 180 for the series. How could Toronto be plus 150 and win the first 2 games at home, and now they're minus 250? That's impossible. A series doesn't start till the road team wins the game, right? So it's an overreaction, I think. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I have to take. Jeff Davis told me his real number on this is Panthers plus 135 in the series right now. He said anything over 160 you have to bet, and 180 is available in the market.
Well, we'll dive more into that and reaction from everything else that we've seen in the National Hockey League, plus a Mother's Day wish. Next segment with Mike Palm. We'll be right back.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Stormy, Buonantony, JVT with you live in downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. And this summer, you can go all in here at Circa.
Like
Ultimate Getaway Package. JVT's doing it. Why won't you? Just $400 all in. They're giving you a 2-night stay here on property, $100 in dining credit, $100 beverage credit, your own day bed at Stadium Swim. And again, just $400. That's the resort fees and taxes all included. Limited time offer, though. Stays between May 26th and September 4th. You got to come hang out with us. CircaLasVegas.com is how you can lock in the all-in summer package. Such a cool thing that you guys do. Is Mike Palm, VP of Operations here at Circa, back with us in studio. That's an awesome summer deal that you guys do.
Well, one thing about it is it's simple. It's just $400. You got the resort fee and this tax and
every
that
other
tax,
property,
this
it's all
fee.
the fees.
It's like the airlines. There's fees and taxes, and you think, oh, that what a $79. Oh, it's really $189 when you count the parking and everything. So that, and then you get the get backs with the the day bed and the food and beverage credits. So it's very, very popular. Some people use it because you can't use it, right? You have to book Sunday or through Wednesday is the first day, but then they'll use it with their offer on top of it, so they extend their trip. Or it's the bookings. This is our third year of doing it, and the bookings this year are more than the first 2 years combined. So.
That's awesome. Let's get back into the NHL, because during the commercial break, you made a very pointed statement about your feelings of this Oilers Golden Knights series.
Boy, I don't know if the Knights are going to win a game here. To your point, Stormy, they're getting outplayed in goal right now. I thought Cassidy made great adjustments to try to defend last night, and everything was going according to Hoyle until the Oilers scored the first goal, and then things fell apart again. And all of a sudden, Edmonton's got 4 on the board, and the Knights were doing everything they could to put pucks on net, and Picard was coming up big in every spot. I mean, you had 2 home games. You're going to go on the road where that power play is even more lethal up there. You've had a little trouble staying out of the box at home. I don't know how things get any better. And these are some pretty cheap prices. Edmonton minus 125 in Game 3 when they're a $4 series favorite. So I'm not delving in on the series. I didn't touch it to begin with. I thought the wrong team was favored. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know who's going to stop the Stars. I don't know if Dallas, the Oilers. I don't know if the Stars are good enough to stop the Oilers the way they're playing right now. And I mean, they made a goaltending change. I didn't think it was really Skinner's fault that they were getting run by the Kings, but that seemed to make a difference in that ridiculous challenge by Jim Hiller in Game 3.
It's such a turning point.
It's the worst challenge in any sport I've seen in my lifetime, because they're going to score if you're wrong. They just looked at the play for 6.5 minutes to see if he kicked it in or if it hit his stick. And now you're going to challenge interference? What? They just looked at it, and what interference was there? All it was him hitting his stick that hit his pads. That's not interference. He's already laying prone. And he called the timeout, and I said, my God, no, he's going to challenge. Of course, 9 seconds later, and the series turned.
What do you make of the fact that they are in this hole without the top players for Edmonton? That's what stuck out to me. Like McDavid and they haven't really done too much in this.
They were only dialed in the last play. That's when they were dialed.
You're giving me great. Listen, can I just say, and I want to get this out there because I said it to you earlier, even before Mike, you came in here. When the Golden Knights killed that penalty, the 5-minute major from Nick Waugh, which, I mean, just brutal decision by him to do that in the first place.
Do you think he'll get suspended?
I don't know.
Because it's not even a hockey play.
It's not.
No.
Yeah. It's and so you have potentially, if you have that, Braden McNabb gets injured, still waiting on Pavel Dorofeev. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Golden Knights right now. But I fully believed that they were going to kill that penalty after they killed that penalty, that they were going to win the game. And I'm like formulating all these questions for if Vegas wins. And then Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl score that game-winning goal, and they go off the ice, and I have to interview Connor immediately after. And my comms went down right as I started talking to him, and I just feel like I was in shambles. I was so disappointed because I thought I did a pretty good job on the game as a whole. And then end of game, the most important part, you're talking to the game-winning player, all this stuff. And then I did such a bad post-game interview on SVP. I'm so sad.
But at least you didn't ask, how do you feel?
No, I'm not a how
what
do you feel.
Like about the what do you like about the Stanley Cup title? I mean, ask a question that's relevant.
I'm not a how do you feel or what does it mean person. I'm not really into that. So there's that. Any hooser.
He gave a very good answer, though. He gave a very honest answer.
He did, yeah.
You should have found Eichel and asked why he couldn't have stood him up at the blue line, but...
Dude, I felt so bad for Jack Eichel. There were so many moments. But at the end of regulation, that shot on goal that he couldn't believe that he didn't.
That was not an easy shot.
It was not.
Everybody sounded like, how did he miss it?
Right.
I mean, that's a really difficult shot.
For sure. Okay, I need to ask you about a couple other series. I know you have some baseball questions real quickly. But you talk about the Dallas Stars. How do you feel about them with Winnipeg? Jason Robertson looked a little off still, but so much depth with that group.
They should put a prop up. How many games will Hellebuck finish in Dallas in this series, right? He's got pulled in. Not bad. It's $5. They told me in Denver earlier this year, we call him $5. He gives up 5 in every game in the road. I mean, I think Dallas is in a great spot. That was an even game. They stole the first game. It's hard to believe there was no goals in the third period if you had over 5.5. That's an all-time beat. But I feel good where Dallas is. I just don't know if Dallas is good enough. They really miss Miro Heiskanen. If he comes back, and DeBoer keeps saying he's day-to-day, that makes a difference. Then I think they can stand up to Edmonton if that's who they meet in the next round.
Has he been ruled out for this one yet?
I haven't seen it.
I keep seeing videos of him skating.
Yeah.
Oh, did he skate today with the team?
I mean, he skated yesterday,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
He's getting close. So, yeah, I haven't seen anything official from the morning skate report today, but we'll see. I'll look into it. Do you have any bets for today?
I have some baseball bets when we
Let's
get
get to it.
get to Jonathan.
Let's do it.
So you can find this. I can't find this on what's available, but in the world, it's available out there. Look, the Tigers are in a horrible Malinsky spot, right? Coming back home off the doubleheader in Colorado with no bullpen really to speak of. They're going to leave Skubal out there as long as he can go today. And this Texas lineup, with all its star power, it's amazing how they don't score runs. So around Vegas, I could only find over 17.5, but you have to lay $2.
Sure.
I would go over 18.5 that he gets
Total
in.
outs?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you could find. I don't really want to lay $2 on any bet.
Sure.
I would go over 18.5, which you probably get as a small chalk or maybe even money. I would go there. And then I like the Blue Jays first 5 tonight. Staying on the West Coast and going up to Seattle. I think Gausman's been pitching really, really well. He's in his zone. The Mariners have been scoring runs, but, and they didn't add anything. I was very critical of the Mariners in the offseason. I said, what did they add to this lineup? They led the league in ERA, missed the playoffs by a game.
Yep.
They added no punch, but they have a different approach. They're taking a lot more walks and manufacturing runs. But I don't want to get into that ridiculous bullpen of the Blue Jays either. So Gausman first 5 plus $1.10.
It's incredible. It's actually the opposite for Seattle now because their rotation's been beat up with injuries, and now all of a sudden they're like the best lineup in baseball.
They have like third most runs in the American League. I mean,
Our boy pitches tonight, by the way. Hunter Brown laid the half run with the Astros later today against the Reds. He should be able to dominate that lineup.
I was worried when he gave up 3 in the first to the White Sox. He must have missed his wake-up call because then he settled in on Saturday.
He's got a legit chance.
He's got
his
a really
underlying
legit
metrics,
chance. I mean, he's down to 5-1 in a lot of spots. I got him at 20-1. I feel very good about it.
Yep.
It's nice. It's nice when you get a lot of value early, and now you can ride it out and position yourself as we go. But he really hasn't had a bad start yet.
No.
Yamamoto finally had a bad start last night.
Talked about that yesterday. So I added Michael King the other day to win NL Cy Young. And one of the things, we talked about this yesterday, was like, I need Yamamoto at some point to get got. And then sure enough, yesterday.
It's a very weird travel spot. But this makes 2 of the last 4 starts where I didn't think Yamamoto had his release point.
Yeah.
That game against Skeens on that Friday night, he never found his release point on the breaking ball. And he didn't last night either.
His command's been all over the place.
Right, and that's what he relies on. He has no, what do you call it, non-competitive pitches. All his pitches have a purpose. But when he doesn't have his release point, that stuff just spins in the middle of the plate. And he's got bases loaded, nobody out. Right, and he has to put it down the middle. And Gabe Moreno takes it out. And that matched his whole earned runs for the year in 1 pitch.
We could also see his boy Sasaki get knocked around today, too.
He'll be crying by the 3rd inning. Sasaki.
Did you see the beginning of the year? Oh, they got the bullpen. It was his first start, wasn't it? His first start, he was crying in the bullpen because he just got rocked.
Oh, no.
And then his manager in Japan comes back and says, yes, he's had issues where he gets very emotional when he loses.
Dude, he's not good. I don't think he's not off to the greatest start.
Oh, no.
Real quickly, Mother's Day weekend. You said that you have something special.
I have a reflection. I've always thought, I think it was in first grade and we wrote this out and put our name in it or whatever, but I always remember it. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there on Sunday. It's a poem called My Mother's Garden. My mother kept a garden of the heart. She planted all the good things there that gave my life its start. She turned me to the sunshine and encouraged me to dream, fostering and nurturing the seeds of self-esteem. And when the winds and rain came, she protected me enough, but not too much because she knew I'd need to stand up strong and tough. Her constant good example always taught me right from wrong, markers for my pathway that would last a lifetime long. I am my mother's garden. I am her legacy, and I hope today she feels the love reflected back from me.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Very impressive. I couldn't have memorized that. That was impressive.
Well, I mean, I learned it when I was 6, so I've had a while to
Part of those
get it down, right?
Sitting in the brain cells.
That's great. The happy Mother's Day the weekend to all of the mothers out there. Make sure you treat them good. Even if a woman says she doesn't like flowers, she's lying. She does. Get them for her. That's my best advice that I could give to anybody out there this weekend.
And don't believe, you spent too much on them. And
No.
then when you go to Smith's, what is this?
There's
from
no
Smith's?
such thing. There's no such thing. Follow him on X at Mike Palm Circa. Appreciate the time as always. We'll be right back here wrapping things up with our best bets after this.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
where Jonathan Von Tobel just broke news to me that I broke, but it's fine.
Again, I didn't see first off, I didn't see the report. Apologies. Second, being a good teammate, unlike you, I just like to shout out news that I read here and there. Just to see maybe if it sticks, if you didn't know about it, whatever it was.
What do you mean, unlike me?
A simple, I talked about that on my report yesterday, would have sufficed instead of you just screaming at me, which, by the way, hello, pot, I am kettle, because, what? Earlier today, I said 6 things to you, including somebody saying hi to you, and I was delivering said message. You didn't listen to me the first time. And then when you finally heard the message the second time, your response was, who's that?
It's not that I wasn't listening to you the first time. I want to let that be known. I didn't hear you. I have noise-canceling earpieces in, okay?
So do I.
Okay?
So do I.
So you know what you're going to say. You don't need to hear yourself.
I'm just saying.
The news, by the way, that Pavel Dorofeev will be
apparently it's not news.
Traveling with the team to Edmonton. I reported that in the game yesterday. I just thought you were my friend. Thought you'd know. But and what do you mean about the person that reached out to me? That's not my fault. I'm bad with names. I'm bad with faces. Not a great.
Stormy, what did I cover when I did ESPN Vegas on Monday for 3 hours? You're not my friend? You didn't listen? Huh? What?
It's different.
Yeah, exactly. It's different.
On that note, you got some best bets for me today?
I got one, at least, baseball. We'll go with the first 5 play again here today. Our guy, Hunter Brown, getting the start very much on the Hunter Brown train. What's up?
I was going to say, and I bet you talked about Vegas sports.
Yeah, there you go. Good call.
So,
on the local ESPN affiliate, that is a very true statement. Let's go Astros first 5 minus the half run at minus 110 against the Cincinnati Reds. Nice way to cut into the price to make it a little bit more palatable for you. We've seen the market really head in the direction of the Houston Astros today, and rightfully so. We saw this open minus 175. We're upwards of $2. Brown deserves it. The Reds lineup has been absolutely abysmal. He should be able to come in here, give the Astros the ability to take the lead in the first 5 frames of at least 1 run. So Astros first 5 minus the half run there, and I will add a late ad here as well. Let us go to the National League West, where later tonight the Dodgers will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Current prices out there for the D-backs. Eduardo Rodriguez getting a start, minus 118, minus 110 at some spots. We're looking at minus 122 here. I think minus 118 is a perfectly palatable price for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Eduardo Rodriguez has some underlying metrics that actually paint a picture of a guy pitching a little bit better than what his current earned run average would be. But this is all more about Roki Sasaki, who has not pitched well at all. He's got an ERA that's under 4. All of his underlying metrics, Stormy, absolutely abysmal. The command's not there. The hard contact is there. But how about this? A batting average on balls in play against of 238. I mean, the guy's just getting away with murder. And this D-backs lineup is really hitting the ball extremely well. As we talked about, they got to Yamamoto yesterday. Think they're going to be able to do it here today. And I think Erod, it should be a higher scoring affair, but asking the D-backs to get this done here today, I think is pretty fair, especially with the way the lineup is hitting. So let's go D-backs money line minus 118.
I have a little baseball today as well. It's no secret or surprise to anyone that has listened to this program lately that the Rockies are bad. I do not like them, and I bet against them often, and we're doing that again today with the San Diego Padres. I am rolling with the run line with the pod squad. All 6 of the Rockies' losses on this recent losing streak have been by 2 runs or more. They are giving up runs at will, and offensively, they just can't keep up. So I'm going to continue to roll with that trend there. And then I'm on the Cubs in the first 5 as an underdog with Jameson Taillon on the hill. Plus 125, I think, is just the better option versus the plus 130 for the entire game. You don't have to worry about any of that bullpen action. This game is in New York against the Mets. Clay Holmes on the opposing hill. But for Taillon, I mentioned the numbers earlier. Just really good head-to-head against this Mets lineup. 75 plate appearances. They're hitting just 162 off of him. 20 strikeouts. He's had a lot of success against this group, and I think that he can do it again today, at least through 5 innings. Do you have any NBA for us this evening?
No, just sweating out some of these series prices and whatnot, which probably aren't going to get there. Cavs minus the 1.5 still alive. Cavs minus 2.5 is not going to get there. So really just kind of holding out hope that some of these teams can. I will say this. I am flirting with the idea, as we kind of hit with Mike, where if you're in my realm, which is kind of like, look, I think that the process has been fine, that the Celtics are fine. Even like this conversation about, we never really learned if they can win in clutch time. They've had the best clutch time net rating in all the regular season and the postseason like the last 2 years. They're a fine team, and I think they're going to be fine. if they hit some of those open shots and this is a 1-1 series, we're not really talking about this. So having said that, look, the Celtics are in the range of like 3-1 to win the whole thing, Stormy. And if you think that if they could pull this off, which I think they can, 2 games is not a big deficit, especially for a team that is the best road playoff team we have seen over the last 3 years. I think that is something that might be worth it. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but when they were down 3-0 to Miami, I had bet them to win the NBA Finals at like 18-1, 19-1, and I think that's a good strategy to take if you think, like me, that they can come back in this series.
And yeah, you've said repeatedly, like you're calling your shot. Boston wins both of these games.
We're going
on
back
the road.
We're going back to Boston for Game 5. It'll be a 2-2 game or 2-2 series.
With the Cavs in action today, just a quick injury update for everybody at home. Shams did put out there that he expects Darius Garland to go. He said that Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter are all aiming to play in this game. The Cavs are out to 5-point road favorites in Game 3 in Indiana, total 230.5 there. Another injury update. We were talking in the commercial break for the Toronto Maple Leafs who are in action tonight. Stolars did not travel with the team for this one.
I reported that already.
And I think that was the expectation. I'm reporting your report. I just credited you. I said, you mentioned in the commercial break. See? Bet on ESPN Las Vegas this week. You talked about the NBA postseason, talked a little NHL, talked a little Golden Knights.
I did, yes, cover the biggest topics of the sports news cycle.
I pay attention. Best Bets today presented by GBank, the official bank of VSiN. And GBank's up in the ante, as always. Most credit cards treat sportsbook and gaming transactions like cash advances. So even when you put your own money on the card, GBank treats gaming transactions as purchases. So you're saving 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right there. Also, GBank, you're earning 1% cashback rewards on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cashback on all other eligible purchases. Check it out. Apply now at vsin.com/GBank. That's VSIN.com/GBank. Another report that you alerted me to, my friend, is more conversation about the college football playoff expansion, which I am curious your opinion on this in general. Like, why do we already have to change something that we've only had a 1-year sample size of? Why is it so important for people to continue to do this?
You know the answer to that.
Money?
Yeah, of course. You got to get the big boys at the table.
Blech.
Right. I mean, this is the machine that's just going to continue to churn. It's actually a good opportunity for you. You should be happy about this.
Get more assignments?
Yeah.
Get more games?
This is literally like it works in your benefit.
I only have so many in my contract that I'm allowed to do. So.
Right. But still, though, I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, like contracts are made to be broken, and you can get more assignments, and you benefit from this. What are you talking about?
For anyone who missed it, potential 6-game playoff bracket conversation has been growing. Big Ten SEC support after an in-person meeting. Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports first reporting all of this, that the Power Conference commissioners met yesterday in New York. They're talking about all of these future formats and stuff. My thing is, I just want to fix the current format before we try to dig even deeper. We've already got problems.
What's wrong?
The automatic bids and who they go to.
Oh, that's an easy fix.
I know, but it's an issue. Like, I don't know why this wasn't thought about to begin with. You would think they would. That's been the growing issue.
What I keep pushing back on with this, and we might see it, we might not, but I keep using this last year's example because obviously everybody keeps getting mad that, the little olds, Arizona State, whatnot, they all got these buys. The problem you have is if you just go with the top seeds, you get a scenario like the Big Ten this last year where Penn State and Oregon were then playing in a Big Ten championship game for absolutely nothing. Right? Because then if they're facing one another, then you have no motivation to win a Big Ten championship game because a 3-point loss either way, you're still a top 4 seed and you're going to get a bye.
Also, just in general, if you're expanding the playoff and you're adding more games, should we even be having these conference championship games? I would say that the answer is no. But again, to your point about dollars and cents, they're not going to want to take them away now after they know the revenue that they bring in from them and the TV eyeballs that they get from them.
So we just sit there, genuflect, and take it. Come on. This is the way the world works.
And we've got all of the NIL updates with the House that are coming through. It's going to be a very interesting summer in college sports, to say the least.
Yes. Very excited for our first football season.
Me too.
I mean, you probably won't be here for a lot of it, but still.
I'm here all the time.
On Fridays.
Fridays are travel days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but that's good. That means you get the spotlight. You don't have to worry about me even being in here messing up your flow, messing up your vibes.
Yep.
No, I'll still join the show even on the days that I'm gone, usually, if you want me to.
Of course.
Will you have me?
Yes. It's our show, of course.
That's a wrap for us today. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Fun day. Make sure you keep it locked here on VSiN, though, because after this next break, Prop Points is going to come up at 2 Eastern on today's show. They're going to have Brandon Kravitz join the show, give his best bets on the NBA tonight. Obviously, 2 big games coming up on that slate. Stick around, Make It Rain with Adam Shine at 3 p.m., followed by Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard. For Jonathan Von Tobel, our wonderful crew, and producer Brian Ortega behind the glass, I'm Stormy Buonantony. Good luck with your bets, everybody, and enjoy the weekend. Happy Mother's Day. Buy your mom something nice. Get her flowers. Take her to dinner, or your mother figure, or your wife, whatever it is. Do something nice. I hope you do something nice, JBT.
Thank you.
Isabel deserves it.